What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and once again, I am bringing you 40 facts on the Warhammer 40k universe. This time, however, we will be going into the lore on the Gathering Storm Part 2, the Fracture of Biel-Tan. Now, there is a lot of lore on this, so this video is probably going to be at least 2 parts, probably 3, and I kind of want to get this done before the arrival of the Return of the Primarch. So I did buy the book, so I've got Fracture of Biel-Tan with me, but by the time I finish reading it, and then summarizing it and bringing it to you guys, it's gonna be like a month or something. So, I went online, and I found an article, well, a post on Daka by Goon Bandito, which I will link it in the description below, so you guys can read the entirety of it. So I'm basically gonna give you key points to the Eldar storyline behind the Ennead, the resurrection of Ennead, or the arrival of Ennead, however you want to call it. So without further ado, here is 40 facts on the Fracture of Biel-Tan, Part 1. Before we can begin with the lore on the Eldar, we must first talk about what happened on Cadia. So Abaddon launched his 13th Black Crusade in full, and Cadia did indeed fall. However, Belisarius Cawl, the Archmagos Dominus of Mars, is in possession of an important artifact that could mean the salvation of the Imperium. So Cawl, Saint Celestine, and Inquisitor Greyfax have managed to escape the Cadian system, thankfully to the timely arrival of an Eldar strike force on the planet of Classius. Now, of course, a lot more did occur on Cadia, so for that, check out our 40 facts on the fall of Cadia. And let us begin our lore on the Eldar. The setting is Covere. Lilith Harrispax, the Queen of Knives, and currently the undefeated and undisputed champion of the Crucible, is being challenged this evening by the patronage of Lady Malice herself, known to the craft worlds as Yvraine, known to the Corsairs as Amarok, and known to Camera as the Daughter of Shades. The Dark City is abuzz, crowd attendance is somewhere in the millions, and even a Harlequin troop has come to be entertained. First, some warm-up fights, the Slith versus Dorny and Clawed Fiends, horrors of the Homunculi versus Witch Cults, and even a battered squad of Astartes versus Hellions. The crowd is going wild, and then come the Tyranids. Crossbreeds from High Fleet Kraken and Leviathan are released by the Homunculi into the arena as Lady Harrispax and Yvraine enter the fight. Asdrubal Vect watches with interest from his floating fortress high above Camera. The fighting is as fierce as it gets. Yvraine is up against a hive tyrant, which she flips over its head and kicks a knife off of the ground into the back of its head. She then charges underneath, carving out its underbelly, killing the beast. She quickly, however, finds herself caught up in a melee with a lictor, and Lilith uses this opportunity to get some hits in. The lictor gets eviscerated in the crossfire as Lilith comes at Yvraine in a furious fury of blows. Yvraine is hard-pressed to simply defend herself, and she quickly finds herself on the back foot, but an unfortunate stumble by Yvraine sees Lilith's dagger into her gut. Satisfied with victory, Lilith vaults off to find new prey, while Yvraine is trying to stem the wound in her gut. Unfortunately, a priestess of Morag Heg steps up for a duel, and Yvraine is quickly overwhelmed, and she loses her hand. Yvraine knows she is dead. She's losing too much blood, but she manages to lock the priestess in a deathly chokehold to at least take her out with her. They both shudder in their death spasms, falling to the ground. Upon her death, an all-consuming brightness of a star bursts up from the ground and consumes them both. Yvraine is screaming as she feels the awareness of a new dimension open up in her mind, casting away all concerns of her previous self. She sees Ennead shouting like a star from a distant crystal moon, and laying the immensity of his gaze upon her. She will forever see nothing but his glory. Explosions of energy shoot off from her body as she is raised up in the air by invisible forces. The energy sweeps out into the arena, withering any Eldar it touches and turning them into dry husks. The Tyranids, however, are largely unaffected, and they use this opportunity to start rampaging through the crowd. The Trueborn guards try to fight back, but they are mixed in attacking the Tyranids or the glowing body of Yvraine. All shots seem to bounce off of her though, and Lilith zooms away into the night on a Reaver jet bike. Above the carnage, Vect is watching with growing anger. What the hell is going on, he thinks to himself. So he sends forces to try to restore order, but something far worse is coming. Yvraine has awoken from her apotheosis, and the ground shakes beneath her feet as she touches back down. Her hand has been restored, and her blade has been transformed and is now radiating with power. Her blood brides rally around her as they quickly find themselves under attack by both Tyranids and Kabbalite warriors. Yvraine decides to get the hell out, and they make for the exit of the killing arena as they go. But with each death of an elder around her, she starts to feel more and more power growing in her mind and body. Eventually, she can't hold it, and she speaks words unbidden to her lips. The entire arena goes dark as every light is extinguished, and she is shocked to see dead Eldar all around her, death without a blow. Kabbalite guards cry out in alarm. Psychic activity in the city is sure to draw the attention of Slaanesh. Kill her, mow her down. More incubi rush out to attack her, when a red armored figure steps in to defend her. Team up, he offers, as he helps her cut down the incubi. No, go away, I don't need help. She spits back, but for some reason, he seems really familiar. Something about the styling of his armor and his guard stance. He points to her sword, telling her that it is called Covere, and that it is blessed by Ennead, just as she is. Fine, you can tag along, she relents as they both escape into the space docks. She's got some friends for her there, from her Corsair days, and she might just be able to escape, because there is something far worse coming to Kamara. It turns out that beneath Kamara there was an ancient sealed portal known as Caines Gate that has kept a flood of demons at bay. Only Yvraine's apotheosis had created a disjunction of Empyrean energy that collapsed the gate and had allowed a flood of demons into the Dark City. Vect had already prepared for an eventuality like this, and he left the defense of the gate to his rivals, ensuring that they would be the first to die due to this demonic invasion. His plan to let other people bear the brunt of the invasion while he could consolidate and come back in strength in a later date. Still, he was not particularly pleased at what Yvraine has wrought on his dominion. He commanded Uri and Rakoth to send his forces out to capture her. Yvraine and the Vizarch managed to escape into the Webway along with some of their followers. They do not really know where they are going, they just know that they have to get away from Vec's forces. But now they begin to hear music coming from deep in the Webway. They come across a portal, and this is where the music was originating from. Demonettes start dancing and frolicking and emerge from this portal as if at a grand ball with corpses of Kabbalite warriors. They get ready to fight, but the music is relaxing, and the demonettes are nice to look at. And dancing at the center of it all is the mask of Slaanesh, watching with glee as the Dark Eldar begin to drift off into their slumber. The mask is drawn toward Yvraine when, surprise, a Harlequin ambush saves Yvraine and the Vizarch from the demonettes. They start cutting through them, and this snaps Yvraine and her Dark Eldar group, and they now rally to fend off the mask's ambush, forcing the mask to flee back into the warp. The Harlequins offer to guide Yvraine to a destination that she knows all too well, Craftworld Biel-Tan.
And this is where part 1 will stop. Please guys, subscribe so you can get part 2, which may be the ending to the Fracture of Biel-Tan, or if not, there will be a part 3 coming. Let me know what you guys think of it so far. In my opinion, it's pretty cool because we get to see Scarbrand, which I always like. He's just a badass bloodthirstier, and it's getting pretty interesting, guys. There's a freaking Astartes in a freaking Royal Rumble with like Tyranids. What the hell's going on? Anyway, let me know what you guys think of the Fracture of Biel-Tan in the comments down below, and also don't forget that we will be going through the rest of the storyline up to the return of the Primarch. So stay subscribed and keep on liking and commenting. As always, I am the Sound Alchemist, part of One Mind Syndicate, and I am signing out.